So is this guy a preacher, a cult leader, or just a menace to his society? Titus Morris. Let's talk about it. They 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 talk about it. Welcome back to She Could Talk the Podcast. I'm your host, Gangalee. Hey. And that's Gangalee on all streaming platforms. If you want to check out my music, look for the glasses, look for the locks. You tell me if I could rap, okay? Okay. But over here on YouTube, on She Could Talk the Podcast, this is where I react to everything. I react to news, sports, crimes, musicians, politicians, YouTubers, TikTokers. If they're talking about it, we are talking about it, okay? Okay. So, on this episode of me falling down the rabbit hole of YouTube, I came across this guy right here on my screen. Is anyone familiar with this guy? Anyone? Raise your hand. Hit me in the chat. Are you familiar with him? His name is Titus Morris, and he's from Kentucky. I don't know what part of Kentucky, but I think he might mention it in here. As you can see, if something sticks out about him, right? Does anything stick out about him, I should say? Perhaps that he looks Amish? He's in the country? His name is Titus. But Titus has been on YouTube since about 2017, bringing his form of, the message from God to the people. Depending on who you talk to, depending on what channel you watch, what rabbit hole you fall down, like myself, some people, I gather from some that he may have not gotten this land the correct way. He may have taken some land from perhaps the Amish people. But fun fact, he's not Amish, never has been Amish. He's just adopted their lifestyle because why not, right? So he looks Amish, he acts, I hope all the Amish people don't act the way Titus act, but, and he's some kind of way inherited a lot of land. All right, so what happened a couple of years ago, there's another YouTuber named Peter Santinello. Are you familiar with Peter Santinello? You'll see him in this video here, because shout out to Peter Santinello. I'm using some footage from him, so courtesy of his YouTube, Peter Santinello, I'm using this footage. But he's a YouTuber that travels around United States of America. He goes to the poorest towns, the most forgotten towns, neglected towns, just whatever, right? He goes to the lower side of America, right? He doesn't go for the glitz and the glamour and the tourist spots. He goes to the unseen, untapped, uncared for parts of the world of America, and he talks to those people and he breaks bread with them, and he spends time with them and kind of get to know their life and get an understanding of how they live. I seen him go to a part of Hawaii, which was like one island that was untapped still to this day, right? And on the island they had stuff like maybe McDonald's or KFC. They got them out of there. They said, we don't want none of that non-processed stuff over here. Right? So in some instances you would say, oh well, they're kind of like cut off from the world. But if you look at those people, they were beautiful. It looked like America. They looked like regular houses. They didn't look like they were living in huts or anything like that. It was houses and land, but they were in Hawaii. And when the big fire happened a couple of years ago, they were the ones that was helping and bringing food to the people in need on the bigger, richer islands. So not so poor, right? Just maybe not conformed, right? So if you watch Peter Santinello's show, he's a great YouTuber, very insightful, and he goes in, and meet with the people. So this episode, it was called The Man with No Legal Identity, Off Grid in Appalachia, U.S., right? So he lives up along the Appalachians in Kentucky somewhere, and Peter Santinello came out there to spend a day or two with him and kind of interview him and get to know him. So we're not gonna stay here long. There's some highlights, but this video is the video I seen first, and then in the comments of the video, Peter Santinello put a post in it that says, when he met Titus Morris. He was a great guy. He had a fun time with him. And he's saddened to hear about the series of lawsuits that he's facing now. And, he said that he's not part of the lawsuit. He has nothing to do with him. But if we wanted to know more information, we can click on the links. And he provided some links. That's where the rabbit hole began for me. All right. So apparently he has several lawsuits from his neighbors over land, unpaid wages for helpers that were down there helping him build a church. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. And then the thing about it is this: he literally has a whole series of reaction channels that react to him on YouTube, and because I'm not going to step on their toes, they've been on this guy for years, right? So you can go over there and you can definitely find out in depth the type of stuff he does. But he just kind of had my spidey senses tingling. I don't know why. So let's start here. Let's start with Peter Santinello's interview of Titus Morris.
Vacation, no driver's license, no ID, nothing like that.
I have no clue what happened to Titus. He took off somewhere out there.
I wake up in the morning and there's a green hill on that side and a green hill on that side, and I just have my own little peaceful valley here.
Amish friend.
We can accept and still go on with what we've got.
So you see how like the Amish still mess with him? Like they basically think he's Amish, so he's like free to go and come, and he's VIP of their community.
This is your whole dishwashing apparatus? I think that's the beauty. We can hang out today. We don't have to believe in exactly the same thing. And
This is his house.
This is your McDonald's drive-up window?
Yep. Hello.
Hello, Titus.
Hey.
You ever had a cell phone?
Never did.
Do you feel like you're missing out on anything right now? That's like childhood.
Okay.
I think I may go like into that tree.
Okay.
And then see if I can bend it to this one and get to this one and then come over to that one.
Okay.
And then come on down.
You've done this a few times, Titus?
Oh, yeah. We didn't have...
By the way, this is literally probably the second Titus I've come across.
TV growing up, so this is what we did for, our spare time. And I still do it for fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So what do you think your expenditures are? How much money do you think?
Look at his house. So he basically, I don't know if this is a trailer, legit trailer, or if it's a shed he turned into a tiny home, wood burning stove. Yeah.
You have to spend a month.
I think it's a trailer.
I guess probably my two main bills would be like dog food and like my phone bill. I've got a landline phone.
Landline, no cell phone.
Yeah, no cell phone.
Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like I didn't want the internet, but they wouldn't give me a phone without the internet. So I'm paying for internet, but I don't get it. So I have a landline phone, and that's like $90 a month.
How's his stuff getting on YouTube? How's he uploading to YouTube?
And then dog food, I probably spend like $20 a month on dog food or something. Things like salt, fruit, and things like that, I probably spend like $30 a month on that, probably.
So
But the plot thickens. So this was about 3 years ago at this time, right? He's out there by himself, right? And it looks carefree, like, oh, this guy he unlocked the code to life, right? Living off grid, no one he has to answer to. He has all this land. He's free to move about and do whatever. And his bills is only about $90 a month, right? Sounds like the life, right? And he speaks about God. He speaks about, God providing him food and nature's gifts and stuff like that, right? So I can see where, not me personally, but I can see where people were moved by Titus.
90, 20, and 30.
Yeah.
So $140 a month is your expenditures.
Mm-hmm.
140.
I always dreamed of having my own farm, my own land, and
So look, now, depending on who you talk to, it's very scrupulous ways and concerns and very not normal ways that they're saying he may have gotten this land. So I don't know. We'll get into that a little bit more, but let's continue. Let's just look around. Let's look around at his way of life. And he's on a farm. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. He's farming. At first, he was by himself. After this video went viral, people legit moved down to the farm with him from around the United States of America. And I got proof.
A dream finally came true.
You love it?
I do. I wake up in the morning and there's a green hill on that side and a green hill on that side, and I just have my own little peaceful valley here.
So no car.
Nope.
You get around.
You seen that old school car? Because it's really like Amish country that they're in. And the Amish really don't drive motor vehicle or use motor vehicles. One or two might have one. But for the most part, you'll see them with buggies, like the buggies with the horses attached. In some instances, like there's an Amish town in Florida where they just ride bikes. So if you drive into town with your car, it's like, whoa, whoa, I gotta mind the bikes because it's legit the whole town ride bikes. You know, so if you're encroaching on their town with a vehicle, they're gonna be looking at you kind of weird type of thing. And that's here in Florida. So, where he's at, I'm pretty sure because it's farmland, it's rural, it's a lot of horses, you know, and then you got one or two vehicles in riding through.
With carriage.
Yep.
So you're almost living an Amish lifestyle,
Yeah, pretty much.
but
Yep.
you're not at all.
No, I'm not a member. No, I'm not a member of the Amish church, but I pretty well live the lifestyle. Want some banana peels?
So he's not a member of the church, but he lives the lifestyle, right? And you know, and anyone out there that knows better than me about the lifestyle, correct me if I'm wrong. Can you just roll up on Amish people's land and be like, yo, I'm down with the lifestyle now? Or do you have to kind of show them some form of like, hey, committing to the lifestyle? Like, you know, like how does that work? How does that work? Because he looks full Amish to me. But you heard him say he's not Amish. And he's not Amish at all. He just rolled up on them, got some land, copped a squat, and he loves horses. But let's look back to it.
Nothing goes to waste. This is Greatheart.
Great heart.
Yes, that's his name.
When you watch all
That
of this, it
looks
looks so
bad,
innocent,
Titus.
so sweet. You're like,
Not
oh, yeah. What he said. Let's go back
No, I'm
to
not
it.
a member. No, I'm not a member
Let's
of the
go
Amish
back
church,
to
but I
that.
pretty well live the lifestyle. Want some banana peels? Nothing goes to waste. This is Greatheart.
Great heart.
Yes, that's his name.
That looks bad, Titus. Behind the bar. You don't seem like you're unhappy. So
No, I sometimes take up hay, bales of hay up in here, and I'll loop this around and snap it. But this is the way that I get up into my barn loft to get hay.
Barn loft with the hay. He got a big barn though, right?
Titus, let me give you this and
Okay.
show what's up there.
All right.
Wait. Here we
So
go.
that's Peter.
Got
And
it.
he's like,
Am I holding it right?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, I got some hay up here. First cutting of hay.
You were telling me off camera you sleep up there on summer nights, right?
Yeah, sometimes it gets really hot in the trailer, and so I'll come up here in the hay, and it's like there's Peter down there. My friend Isaac was staying with me, and he was sleeping up here in the barn, and he said this sleeping on these hay bales, it's an eco-friendly, green, biodegradable
so I want to say something. Watching all of this, it seems innocent. You got to stick with me. Watching all of this seems innocent. And you're like, what's going on here? But I just had another thought, like with him saying this, because of what I'm watching in the rabbit hole I fell down so far. He says when it gets hot, he comes out there and sleeps in the hay. This is the barn where the horses are, right? You saw him just feed the horses, and he hoisted himself up there to the hay. Okay.
and it
He
smells
loves
good to top it
horses.
off. Go out to the front, and I'll show you the funnest way to get out of the barn.
All right. Titus, you're a character.
He is.
All right, what's Titus got for us here? You gonna jump out of there?
I'll show you the funnest way to get out of the barn. A lot of patience. You know,
He's
you
riding
can't
around with him.
expect them to always do exactly what you tell them to do because maybe they don't understand. They've not done it before.
He's talking about his horses.
Maybe they don't understand exactly what you want them to do. So you learn to be patient. You learn to take your time to teach them. And then if you're willing to put that time and that patience in, then they're willing to just serve you with their whole heart.
When you say God, you get a message from God. Walk me through that. What does that you mean? You actually hear something, it just naturally happens through your body. What do you mean by that?
Well, like when I was saying I felt God speaking to me or the Holy Spirit speaking to me, I didn't hear like an audible voice, but it's this very strong thought in my mind.
Okay.
That I know that it's not just my own thought. Because naturally in that situation I was heated up and I was angry and all my thoughts were just frustration of how I couldn't get this job done.
Yeah.
And then there's this calm thought that comes from God reasoning with me, saying, Titus, you know, you're being unreasonable with your horses. You need to take a step back.
So I know the answer already, but spirituality
Remember that.
is super important for your life, right?
Definitely.
Like you wouldn't be able to do this without it?
I wouldn't be at peace. Like I would be afraid. I would be afraid that some natural disaster is going to come and a drought's going to come, or you know, some country's going to attack, or those things could happen. But I'm at peace now, knowing that I have a Father in heaven that cares about me, and that He's going to provide what I need.
So what's going on in society? You're not really.
Now, I can see how, especially 3 years ago when this came out, how people can listen to this and look at the innocence, childlike of him and be like, "Aw, I'm dialed in." Not me necessarily, because I it's several things that got my spidey senses tingling, but I can see where some people would get dialed in and be like, he's just a simple man living a simple way of life, raising his animals on the farm and speaking to God.
Really tuning into it at all, or are you?
I hear people talk about like the war
And he's been up here since 2017, guys.
between Russia and Ukraine, Russia taking over Ukraine, things. I hear people talk about it, and I am interested to know what's going on around me. But there comes a point where you hear all this negative information, and you can do nothing at all to stop it.
Ted, are you in a relationship right now?
No.
No. Okay, so everyone's just friends here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so the reason why I wanted is to let this play out real quick. This lady right here, remember this lady right here with the mole? I want to say her name is Samantha. Let me see. Does it say it up here? It's going to give me some more. But this woman right here has about 3 to 4 kids, not with Titus. She was a YouTuber that lived elsewhere in a whole different state, married with like 3 to 4 children and her husband. She convinced her husband that the Lord is calling her to move to Titus's farm and volunteer. And the husband, being, into religion and spiritual too, he said, okay. She wasn't Amish either. She was a regular schmegula woman from wherever she came from. But when she got down there to Titus, she switched it up. But people was asking him, in particular, this guy right here, Peter Santinello, asked him, and this is the soundbite we're hearing, is Peter asking him about his relationship status. So listen.
No.
No. Okay, so everyone's just friends here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said, are you in a relationship with her? He said, no. Let's one more time.
There comes a point where you hear all this negative information, and you can do nothing at all to stop it.
Ted, are you in a relationship right now?
No.
No. Okay, so everyone's just friends here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You put a lot of effort.
So remember that woman that came down there with that mole. You remember her? We're going to continue. So now it says Titus Morris deceived us and stole our labor. Look at the people that came from states out of town to come down here to volunteer to help him build a church. And they built it. But let's continue.
Into the trails and
Listen.
the, other people that never will meet you will benefit from that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Or
I
they
could
may
be
not
part
meet
of
you
it.
here on earth,
Yeah.
but in heaven, by God's grace.
Yeah, I like to make the joke that if it looks like we've been sleeping in a barn, it's probably because we've been sleeping in a barn. And we figured out, we basically stayed about a week and then we went home. Then we came back after 3 days.
And realize we got to come back. This is so much fun. And, what better thing to do than help build a church?
Yes. And I was actually able, because it was the time of year in my work where I can just kind of, take off a little bit. So I didn't mean to stay, quite as long, but it was really good. Yeah.
So this guy was the one I was talking, whose voice we heard talking, right? And he's now basically a reaction channel for Titus. Okay, so I think it's called Beyond Categories, and daily you can go up there and you can, like, I don't even want to act like I know, because I tell you, I fell down the rabbit hole and this is how my spidey sense is tingling. So I wanted to bring it to you all to say, hey, did anybody see this before? But he has a whole reaction channel dedicated to Titus, because he's giving Titus money, he's giving Titus labor. He went down there, helped him build on the land, helped him cultivate the land, right? So let's continue. So he's now a reaction channel of Titus's.
Definitely, whoever's watching, come help. You won't regret it.
There's a lot to do.
You put a lot of
So that's how they felt in the beginning. Look, this is the front of Titus's house. That's how they felt in the beginning. That guy, like, come down, come help. Like, we need your help. We're gonna get this church going. And you could see, and it's so impressive to me to see how spirituality, Christianity will move people to come together and support each other. And that's a good thing. That's a beautiful thing, right? The thing that just breaks me, or breaks my heart, or saddens me, I should say, is when people get used in the process of it. Just like these volunteers down here, the children, the innocent children, even the horses messing around with Titus, gets used and abused. But let's continue. So he basically had a camp. This guy legit just walked in after driving several states over to come and volunteer. Listen to where this guy drove from. He's going to tell you. Or tell Titus.
Morning.
Hi.
I'm Steve.
Steve, nice to meet you. Yeah, welcome. Where are you from?
I'm from Connecticut.
Wow.
Yeah, I just drove a couple days to get down here.
Wow. Okay, well, you came back for a day.
Yes, I did.
Today's the Sabbath and a day of rest.
I understand.
Because you will be working then after Sunday. He going to work you.
So walk in, say something, and stay, and then go.
Well, I got 2 and a bunch of tools.
Want them to take him out of the pasture?
You see her? Let's go back real quick. You see how she looks right there?
So walk in, say something, and stay, and then go.
Well, I got 2 weeks and a bunch of tools.
Want them to
I think her name is Stephanie.
take him out of
You see how she looks right there? Look.
the pasture?
Look how she looks. Does she look Amish? This is how she looked when she first arrived, right? You see the young child on her arm? She has about 4 of them, guys. She has about 4 of them. None of them are Titus's, allegedly. And she moved down there with her husband and her kids to help Titus's movement in his church, help him establish his church. That's how she looked before she got, fully engulfed. Did you see in the beginning? She looks Amish now. All right, so
Hello, everyone. It's the big.
so this guy right here, and just to give a little more detail, I want to say the street that they live on is called like Henson Creek or something. I don't know. And this guy's name is Steve Henson. So it's family land for this guy right here, allegedly. And coupled with just the menace that Titus is, this is another reaction channel that has, developed as a result of his interactions with Titus. Let's see here.
From down here on History again. And Titus also told me how you get paid, Bill. Titus told me he pays you $300 cash a week. And if you don't eat junk food now, if you don't eat that old dollar store crap you keep buying, them chips and stuff, you get $350 cash a week. See, you're not a volunteer. You're a paid hand, sir.
Okay.
See, you all think you all can manipulate and lie and carry on. But you forget. I spent the time infiltrating you. I spent the time getting all the facts from your mouth, Titus, and Stephanie Morse.
Stephanie, that's her name.
You all are liars, manipulators.
So let's go into it, because you heard him say Titus and Stephanie Morris. So in the interim, last couple of years, she moved her whole family down there, husband included, had her husband out there tilling the ground, doing all the stuff, building, sleeping in the barn in the hay. She starts to have an affair with Titus. The husband, who was reluctant to come in the first place, is like, what? No, we're leaving. You don't need to be around him by yourself. We're leaving. She said, you can leave. I'm staying, and I'm keeping the kids here with us. So the kids ended up staying with her initially and Titus on the farm until bad things started to happen to the kids.
And the Henson Creek House of Prayer and Titus
Did I tell you they were girls?
Morris Ministries ain't nothing but ministry for the devil and personal gain and greed. Because they're a cult, not volunteers, because you don't volunteer if, you're getting paid.
Right.
Ain't that right, Bill? $300
And they driving from
like
Connecticut to what? He said he drove days.
You get $350 cash a week. Another confession of Titus Morris. Thank you.
Okay. Whoa. So it's videoing right now.
Yeah. You can just hold it off right there.
Look, it says.
Hey, Steve.
So let me pause it. So it says, warning to volunteers: hide your wife, hide your kids. I don't know if you can see that at the bottom right here of this thing. This is allegedly, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, because this came across my desk, and I was reluctant because I was like, what is this? But it kept on coming. YouTube was like, she could talk. And I was like, all right, let me look at this. But what I've gathered, this is Stephanie's husband, from what I gathered, allegedly. Okay, so I'm gonna say allegedly, from what I gathered. So he moved down there with his wife, his kids, to help Titus, and then he got shafted. Literally. And his wife and his kids did too. Okay, let's go.
Steve's looking more and more like a cowboy every day.
I wanted to show some of these comments. Let's pause it, shall we? So it says, they said Titus is well aware of what he's doing. Preaching the gospel while doing everything against it makes him the biggest hypocrite. Karma is going to catch up with him. At this point in time, I feel as though Titus needs brother in Christ to volunteer their wisdom. You might not want to be associated with spending all of this money donated for a church to build a home for Titus. Steve looking like he's your only friend on MySpace. But basically, a lot of the people were saying, look how he did this man. All right, this man came with his whole entire family down to that farm or land or whatever, cult, and lost everything to Titus. Now his wife is Titus's wife, and the kids are Titus's wives. Allegedly.
I'm riding Greatheart. And we're riding along Henson Creek Road on October the 19th, 2023. And if you work hard like Steve, come here and volunteer.
Okay, I just pushed.
Henson Creek Road here, and there's a fellow parked.
So now the reaction channels, they're basically on his block now. Now, a lot of them worked for him or volunteered for him initially because they thought he was opening a church. This guy is going to tell you that. He's one of his biggest reaction channels now.
Here in the middle of the road, right in front of the house of prayer. And
so that's the house they legit built for him. They say everything goes on in that house except prayer.
Yeah, sure enough. Let's check out and see who this guy is.
All right, so this is going to kind of give a backstory on one of the cases that Titus has in court right now. So I'll give you some backstory from what I found so far, and this is ongoing but old at the same time, but still ongoing. So some of these cases may have been resolved already. So I don't know, you guys out there. If you know, let me know. Okay, but so he had one case where he is fighting essay charges or PDF file charges because the husband of Stephanie, which I believe is Steve, said that he assaulted his kids. So he's fighting Stephanie for custody of the kids. And I guess in the state that they're in, it's like all or nothing custody. There's no shared custody. So he's trying to go back to his state and bring his kids with him. And he has them locked into a legal battle because now Titus is out the blue married to his wife. Now, did they get a legit divorce? Who knows? No, actually, I circle back. He got a GoFundMe for her divorce. YouTube paid for it. And there's another guy's fighting in court for his kids, right? So that's one case. Another case is the assault. He pressed charges on the guy with the beard, Stephen Henson. You notice they're out there on Henson Creek. His name is Stephen Henson. So we'll get into it because that's what we're leading up to now.
So what's your name?
Stephen Henson.
Stephen Henson.
Big ugly.
I did not expect to meet you today, Steve.
I did not either. It's a good thing. The Lord works in mysterious ways.
I guess you could say that this has been a good meeting. There wasn't any slapping in the mouth.
There was no slapping.
On either party.
No slapping.
So I wanted to ask you about what happened yesterday with your channel.
Yes, sir.
What happened yesterday with
Oh,
your
I
channel?
got took down. They took me down. And I let him know that I wasn't trying to destroy him, that I was going to destroy him.
Steve, do you think Stephanie possibly or Titus had something to do with Solomon Hirschberger's death?
Your friend, Big Ugly, Outlaw Stephen Henson. And don't you threaten.
So, and honestly, because I'm just going through the highlights, so you can go over to Stephen Henson's channel, or you can go to Beyond Creative, I believe, or Beyond Category channel, and you can see the big details. But it's going to highlight the reason why he had a court case.
Weren't worried because
right here.
I've got another channel, the Henson Creek Outlaw channel. We're not gone, and we've got the same Big Ugly with the same attitude.
So look, this is why he got a court case.
Oh my gosh, Steve.
If you go to the actual channel that has the footage playing out, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. But look how dirty Titus is. He stays barefooted. Allegedly, he sleeps with the horses. They got into a little tussle.
Yeah, what you're doing is follow me up the road, follow me on the road.
So that ended up being a court case as a result of their physical tussle there.
I wrote a little poem about Titus Morris and my experience with him.
But he's messed up a lot of people. There's people that believed in him so much that they gave up everything to go down there and live on the land and be free like Titus. And he did craziness to them. This poem is from one of the volunteers. He said, a little poem about Titus Morris and my experience with him. Let's read it, shall we? So let's see here. It says, I was down and needed a friend. I heard a man who was free of sin. I went to Titus and poured out my heart, only to find out he was fake at heart. He made me think he was a godly man, but his colors came out when Stephanie came. All I saw was greed and lust. That's what broke all our trust. Between the horses and the corn, but take that C off and add a P. So between the horses and the corn, my trust in Titus was surely torn. I think he has a very big heart, but he let a woman tear him apart. I read in the Bible, if you lie with a beast, you'll still be stricken dead, to say the least. I'm not here to judge or to cause ill will. I just wanted to say how I feel. For the love of God, Titus, just let her be. She's the devil made over. Why can't you see? The devil is fighting you every day. He wants all things to go away. Rebuke all your demons and cry out to God. Comfort will come from his staff and his rod. So that was a person that was down there with Titus, and when Stephanie came, they left. So I'm curious if horses are not off limit, kids are not off limit. Were any of the men volunteers off limit? Allegedly.
I hope you guys can enjoy it, and let me know your feedback on this. Thank you.
So that
Hi
was a
everyone, this is
volunteer.
Justin Jones.
Talk to any of the neighbors and just say, hey, tell me about Titus Morris. What do
Now
you
listen
know?
to this.
I think if you talk to his neighbors and let that be your guide, okay, you'll have a very good idea.
I think that can go a long way. Like, believe it or not, just talking to someone's neighbors, you can find out a lot. Because neighbors watch. Neighbors may not talk to the neighbor, but they'll know. They'll be like, oh, him? Oh, yeah, let me tell you about them. So this reaction channel started to go out and talk to the neighbors and started, getting more information.
Whether or not you should come here and volunteer. I want to give a warning to future. Okay, today is Tuesday, August the 20th, 2025. I'm standing in front of the house of prayer. I just want to say, Titus Morris, he loves to be on camera until the truth comes out. Then when the truth comes out, you get death threats. When the truth comes out, he'll subpoena you in the court with a bunch of legal harassment. So, these people are YouTubers. They want to spin their version of the truth. And when the truth comes out, you say things they don't agree with, they'll lash out at you in very unchristian-like ways. I believe they do that because I don't think they're Christians. But I think that the people who give to GoFundMe, or people who gave to GoFundMe, gave to Titus, I think they've got a right to know where their $251,000 went. I gave to it. I'd like to know. I gave more than $1,000 to Titus outside the GoFundMe. Actually, more than $1,100.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is no joke. And I'm not saying, like, who am I to tell anybody where to donate their money to, But it's serious business out here. $251,000. And he has a bigger supporting audience just because, the way he looks, Amish, et cetera, Appalachia, et cetera, right? Whew. And that was just one GoFundMe. He made $250,000 off of. It was another one because he had to pay for the divorce, for Stephanie's divorce. That was like $18K. Or I think it's the case for him against the PDF charges against Stephanie's kids. They raised $18,000. And you think about that. He was able to successfully raise $18,000 allegedly to fight a case of him allegedly essaying some children. And people paid for his defense, allegedly. But let's continue.
In one check. Okay, today is Tuesday, August the 20th, 2025. I'm standing.
Was shot on Wednesday, August 20th, 2025.
This is the same
in
guy.
Casey County, Kentucky.
Yep. Hey, Titus, I dropped by the Louisville field office of the FBI yesterday. Not going to go on camera today, Titus? Not going to talk?
So he's legit on the dude's land at this point now.
You going to give me another subpoena, Titus? For telling the truth? You like to be on YouTube, don't you? Till you disagree with it. How many of your neighbors, Titus, how many of your neighbors have testified against you in court? How many neighbors you got left? Name one. This ain't a church of God, Titus. Uh-huh. Which God is that?
So they're just basically going up
Have
to
you
the land
blessed
and
Jeffrey
terrorizing
lately?
him down. So you saw how it went from him being
I was
honored
told, Titus, that the
to
Morrises
now they're like
love to rebuke
on him.
others, but they cannot stand for rebuke against them.
Okay.
I learned that in early 2024, and I found that to be very true.
Mm.
Do you want me murdered, Titus? Hey, Titus, I dropped by the Louisville field office of the FBI yesterday. What do you think about that?
Video, just a quick synopsis.
She's another reaction channel on Titus's ASS's. Okay. And she was reacting to some of the court situations that was going on, and she ended up going viral because of it, and she didn't realize that it was going to go so big for her, so she came back and did another video after doing a little bit further research to kind of clear up some things. So I want to give her a shout out, and I'm terrible here because I'm gonna have to find her name and put it in the credits here, but shout out to her, because when I fell on the rabbit hole, I kind of landed at her dining table at this bench with her, and she started giving all the putting all the pieces together. Like, what am I looking at? I'm trying to get an understanding of it. So I'm just gonna run through a little bit of what she had to say.
I really felt like everyone else that God's hand was at work here, and we were seeing like a modern day miracle.
And she's talking about some of the footage at the beginning, like the Peter Santinello interview with Titus that went super viral about 3 years ago, right? And that's what probably shined a bigger spotlight on him, whereas he's always been on YouTube. He's always been like a person that was, known in the area, menace or otherwise, but it got larger after he did that interview with Peter Santinello. So this is what she's talking about initially.
That two people were brought together by the universe, by God, for we don't know what purpose, and but it was really going to be something to be seen. I still feel that way, by the way. In November of 2023, that's the last time we see Jeff on any videos. That's Stephanie's husband.
Oh, Jeff.
And Stephanie...
See, I think I said Steve. So Steve, the other guy, is not the husband. See? Jeff is the husband. But continue.
Tells us that she began having marital struggles, and Titus's mom offered her a place to stay so she could keep supporting the ministry by taking the videos. Her husband accused Titus and Stephanie of having an affair, and he wanted her to stop taking videos and not to go to the home of Titus unaccompanied. This isn't gossip. We learn about this in What's Going On. Please pray for us. That was one of the
She got the receipts.
Channel.
Miss Ma'am has the receipts.
At that time, they also announced there was a GoFundMe that had been set up to support Stephanie's legal fees, which were expensive. She and her husband were going to divorce. The husband wants full custody of the children.
As he should.
In Kentucky, it's 50-50 automatically. He wants full custody, and that's all we knew at that time. So this is where Aaron comes in. Aaron has a YouTube channel called Beyond Category.
That's what we saw.
It actually began in 2013, and his channel in the beginning was about caving. Also in August of this year, a video called Update and a Call for Help was uploaded to Titus's channel again with Stephanie, Titus's mom, and Titus. And they let everyone know what was going on with the court case, and they needed more money. Stephanie's attorney was very expensive. So now why this is all important is, like I said before, is about the custody battle. So Jeffrey's side is trying to prove that Stephanie is putting the children in a dangerous situation.
I believe
Titus
it.
is a dangerous person. Stephanie is living in the home of Titus's parents, and that's a dangerous situation. And so we also learned that Stephanie and Titus have a no contact order with those kids right now until this is all resolved.
And you know what causes a no contact order? Accusations.
So that's what they're trying to prove. They're attacking Titus's character. Titus is very honest I will give him that. And he confesses his sins right there on the stand. And
Listen,
it's something that's awful. So apparently, Titus is asked if he'd ever had sex with horses. And he said yes. And he wants to elaborate. Well, the judge keeps saying, don't say anything that's going to incriminate yourself. That is something that's illegal in all 50 states. And
to think the judge said, don't say anything to incriminate yourself. Did you see how barefoot, blackfoot, unbathed Titus looks? He looks like a true menace, right? I don't know anything about these people, so alleged. True menace, though. That's the vibe my spidey senses has given me. And I felt like, there's something not right, and I fell down this rabbit hole all the way down to the truth. Allegedly. But it's documents, public records. Go look.
but he wants to tell his side of the story.
But to see that the judge said, oh, you don't say anything that would incriminate yourself. Get them horses out of his care, please. Get them children away from him, please.
And so
no more volunteers, because it's clearly people that are, seeking a refuge or needing to belong to someone or to a group that are the most vulnerable going down there.
He said, and by a neighbor. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm not that person anymore. And the attorney kept pressing him on when did this stop? When did it stop, though? You may have started at 13 and you were an innocent
doing the horses
teenager
at 13.
Introduced to something, but when did it stop? We never really got an answer, but it appears as though early 20s, maybe. Now, Titus said at the time, that was in August, that he was 31. Early 20s. But then.
So now this is another person running up on Titus. Him and his horse.
Titus, you're just a very reliable source of content, aren't you?
Look at them feet,
Every
Lord.
time I ride my bike through here or go for a walk, you just happen to emerge.
The neighbor called me and asked me to go shut her window for her, so I went and did that.
When I sent that...
Who is asking him to do that?
That coffee maker to Jonah back in December, did you see where it was postmarked from?
Are you talking about the return address?
Where it was postmarked from, the post office mark.
Oh, no, I didn't take it.
It was sent from the Masonic Home, Kentucky. I made a great video this morning. I think you might like it. Yeah, it's about you. Yeah. Talking about how the judge said you couldn't talk about the case, but you're dropping her name and talking about the case. So might be a contempt of court there, Titus.
You see how like the guy is a reaction channel, whatever, but he is a terrorist. He's a Titus terrorist because he'll go out there and find them and film them and then say, hey, look, I heard about your court case, this. And look at Titus' reaction.
As you recall, we did not ask you to put that on YouTube. That was your choice.
Right, but you were...
I didn't put that on YouTube. Stephanie, you're responsible for that.
Oh, have I?
Yeah, you said you didn't know whether you would ever post it or not. You said that you might post it one day down the road. But
yeah.
If somebody's in contempt of court, it's you. Because I didn't put it on YouTube. Stephanie did, and it's you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I see.
Interesting, and we shall see, because it's ongoing with this guy. And so now I'm kind of fell down the rabbit hole. I kind of want to see how it ends. Like I'm not too far invested. Like I'm not subscribed, and I'm not like looking for this every day, but it randomly, weirdly pops up in my algorithm, and I have a feeling why. Do you have a feeling why? Can you all guess? But other than that, I wanted to share it with you all because it's a lot of them out there, right? In many genres of the Christianity world, I would say, putting it mildly, because we have the barefoot pastor / cult leader right here. Then we have and you would say, oh, he's a innocent, humble man on his farm, right? Not bothering anybody. But do you see the stuff that he's doing? he's terrorizing the town. He's terrorizing the town. Plus people that's coming in from out of town. This is getting some of that first hand terrorism from Titus. He's Titus the terrorist, allegedly. Okay. $251,000 he raised on GoFundMe to build the church. Do you saw that big building? So depending on who you follow or who you go down or what Reddit thread, because there's several Reddit threads on this guy. So depending on what Reddit thread you fall into, some people say it was a meth house. Some people say that it's not a church. Some people say it's his church where they go and worship, but it's not church like we would consider church. Allegedly. That's just what I've seen. But I wanted to share that all with you because, in the vein of me, this is kind of like almost like another series that has popped up for me here. Thank you to YouTube. So YouTube, let me give you an e-kiss because they literally just like send this to me. But so then I wanted to keep it going and bring another one to you and another form of what it may look like, right? Cult leaders, right? This one I think is more true to form, like closer to like what you would consider when you consider like a cult leader or whatever, but they come in so many forms and fashions, right? So I wanted to share this all with you and tell me, are you familiar with him? Did he make your spidey senses tingle, or is it just quite obvious by looking at him, right? But anyway, you know how I do. I want you all to join me in the comments. Don't meet me there. Beat me there, okay? And right now, I'm going to hit you with the motto, hit you with the brand. If you like anything I do, tell a friend. If you don't like anything I do, tell a friend. And from my lips to your ears, I love you, but I need you to love me. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications, all right? Join me in the comments, and then share it. Tell a friend, and tell a friend, okay? And until next time, it's your girl Gongali. It's She Could Talk the Podcast, and I'm out. Peace.
They talk about it. They talk about it. They talk